Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Before we get started, I just want to apologize for the lack of uploads recently. Had some life things kind of get in the way of being able to record, which, now that that's all gone over, we can finally get back and get on schedule with more uploads. Also, forgive my voice a little bit. I was, the day before I'm recording this video, I did go to a concert, so my voice is a little more hoarse than before, so just bear with me for these next, like, maybe upload or two. But here we are back in the sim. We're going to be flying the Vision Jet from Oakland Troy Airport here in Troy, Michigan, and we are going to be flying down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Shouldn't take too long, maybe a little over an hour. I did this flight in the Phenom for off camera just to kind of see the visuals and everything like that, and it's probably going to be easier to take the Vision Jet down there just because of the way the airport is situated. It can be a little easier for a smaller aircraft like this to get in and out of the area due to the terrain. So, without further ado, we've already gone and done the inspection of the visual inspection of the aircraft, so that's all set there. So let's go ahead and head on inside. And here we go. So we are flying on Sim Update 6, which now adds a mount to your EFB. Now, I've been having problems with it, not wanting to see, here it goes again. So I've been having issues where it won't generate routes properly, like on the bigger airports, but it's doing it for the smaller ones, so we will be working with smaller airports for now. Once this gets fixed, and maybe a hot fix or something, then we will continue the other, like, airliner series, the Fly with Orbit series, and so on and so forth. But that's new, and they did a lot of other small things to multiple aircraft, as well as a lot of UI things, which are pretty nice to do. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and remove our cap safety pin and our emergency exit safety pin. I believe there was something back here, couldn't remember. But okay, we're good to go now, so let's go ahead and get some power going. So we're going to get our batteries and generators. Master oxygen's going to come on. And our air supply source is going to be bleed. We'll turn our probe heats on, even though it is warm. It does. Aircraft does want everything on, and then everything here we will leave off temporarily. So aircraft is going to go through alignment. So while we do that, let's take a look at our flight plan. So it's going to be a quick flight down to Gatlinburg. Kelvin 3 departure via stays. So we do have to intercept this, because the Kelvin 3 departure starts south of where we're going with the fall waypoint. And then we have two way markers en route, and then a direct approach into Gatlinburg's runway 28. I can't remember if that was the runway I landed on before. I believe it is. So if it is, which it does look like it, if I zoom in enough, yeah. So when I flew the Phenom, I had to fly around a pretty far approach and got close to some terrain. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue here. So we're going to go ahead and get everything set up here. Navlog says it's going to be about an hour and 22 minutes at 305 knots, 416 nautical miles. So we're going to go ahead and shoot that over to the avionics just to get that set in. Fuel. I'm going to add just a little bit more fuel, because the range on this aircraft is actually pretty short. So fuel, we will go to 75%. Seats, obviously, I'm not really going to mess with this too much. We'll just add maybe 11 kilos there, quick fill. Because if I do quick fill on the seats, it's going to want to, like, fill it's going to fill all the seats up. and then add a random weight. Like, you're not going to have someone that's 49, like 16 kilos, 4 people, 16 kilos. It's just not going to work. So we're just going to leave that the way that is. We're going to go ahead and let's click ahead and load immediately. Should bring our fuel back up, which it did. And now time for the weather. So you can see, just looking outside, it is pretty cloudy. Weather has not been favorable the last few days. So winds out 340 at 7. We have decent visibility. It is 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside. That's 21 degrees Celsius. Altimeter is 29er. We have overcast at 0 and 8. 10 miles for the visibility is what the actual visibility is. This says 8.69, but it's actually 10. So we will go ahead and let's get our altimeter set right now. So it's 29er. Just like that. Alright. So now let's go ahead and get our aircraft set for the initialization. Start with initial fuel, fob sync, confirm. Weight and balance. Aircraft loading, so we should go to payload fuel. We're just going to click on the configuration. So the cargo was 11 kilos, so that was back there in the baggage, so that goes, so let's see here, yep. This is in kilograms and the plane is in pounds. I really don't feel like messing with it too much, but we will. So weight is in pounds now, so that'll make it even. So back to our payload and fuel. So we have 24 pounds of cargo in the baggage. So we'll enter that. Pilot, I'm just going to add 30. Fuel is okay. Just go through our route real quick. Everything looks okay. So we're going to go through, accept that, runway. That's okay. So the required takeoff distance, it should have automatically calculated, but this aircraft is a performer, so I'm going to put 2,000 feet for the required distance. We don't really need that much. Takeoff data, let's just take one, let's take one quick look at that. So everything is okay. We'll accept that initialization. Close out our EFB. Everything looks to be okay on that end. So let me go here and put up our route. There's a way you can make this a little bigger. So I have a cruise altitude at 31,000. We'll probably get up to that height. We should be able to get up to that height, no problem, before needing to actually land. There we go. Recenter our aircraft just like that. Zoom this up just a little more, about 5 miles for that marker there. So we are pretty much ready to go. Let's just go ahead and select our altitude. So our initial climb, we're going to start at 4,000. FMS is going to control our auto throttle speeds, so 165 knots is going to be the climb out. Our rotation speeds probably be about 80 to 90 knots. That's the nice thing about the Vision Jet is it flies like a prop aircraft in terms of your takeoff and landing speeds. We'll be using 50% flaps. We'll kick in the auto throttle a little bit later, and as I said, it's set to FMS, so that'll control. Fuel control, fuel tank is on auto. Everything up here, we are looking good. So, just like a car, engine start stop. Fuel pump priming. So the thing with this, and they still haven't fixed it, you hear the audio cut in and out. I don't know why they do that, but they do that. So, looks like we have a good start. So I'm going to go over here to, we're going to put on our map right there just so we can see what's going on. And then we have all of our aircraft status. Everything is looking pretty good. So this aircraft can turn tight, so we don't need our little pushback tug right here. So let's get going. Put the landing lights on. We don't need ice protection right now. We won't need it at all. Disengage the parking brake. And it takes a little bit of thrust to get this thing going, which is surprising once you initially start moving this aircraft. 58% N1, 22% thrust just to turn it around. So we're going to be taking off from 2.8, which is to our right. So the simulator has not updated this airport. It still uses 927 as in the markers, which in all reality, it's 10 and 2.8 because of the geomagnetic stuff. So let's go ahead and get moving. Flaps, those are going down. So, just a quick little briefing on what should happen. So if anything happens before V1, any bangs, pops, something crazy, we will reject the takeoff. We have enough runway here. The brakes on this aircraft are very strong, so we can reject the takeoff. Anything after V1, we will take the aircraft up in the air, put the gear up, clean the flaps up after 1,500 feet. We'll do some diagnostic checking to see just kind of what's going on. But other than that, it should be a pretty good departure. 3,500 feet of runway here. Don't need that much runway. We're not heavily loaded. We just have a little bit more fuel on board than I usually would fly this aircraft with. Runway 28. We're quite literally in the middle of the city at this airport. It's kind of cool. Alright, we're lined up, so we're going to do a static takeoff here. Instruments, airspeed's alive. 90 knots is rotation. Ready, steady, up we go. Look at that. Barely any runway required. That's a positive climb. Gears coming up. We're going to pitch 15 degrees. Gears up and locked. That's that thud. Above 1,000 feet, flaps are coming up. We're going to pitch 10 degrees. Gain some speed. Once we get to about 150 knots, I will pull back the throttles just a little bit. Getting a little foggy as we continue our climbs. There's 150 knots, so I will pull throttle back just a little bit. Coming up on 4,000 feet. And we're going to pitch to maintain 150 for now. Oh, passing 4,000, we are going to climb direct 310 because of the clouds. So we're going to go flight level change. We're going to get lined up here. So it's going to want us to maintain 165 knots. We're going to turn on our flight director. Flight level change. We're going to activate nav, so it tells us what to do. Crossing 6,000. But the nice thing about the G3000 avionics is when you're flying and you're doing a route, like you can see if we look at our EFB here, the route technically doesn't start until there at the fall waypoint, but the G3000 will automatically connect your designated runway of choice to that waypoint and will follow it. Some of the larger aircraft avionics will not. It'll just automatically throw a discontinuity at you and be like, well, you're on your own, buddy. Alright, so we're going to pitch down just a little bit, gain more speed. So it wants standard, so we are going to set standard. Breaking above the clouds. This aircraft is a joy to fly. I put a review out not too long ago about this aircraft. If you wanted to jump from your single engine prop aircraft to something like this, if you want to introduce yourself to the jets, this is the perfect aircraft in my opinion to start with, and it's absolutely great. We are getting a very nasty headwind. You can see if you look at our GPS here, we're kind of on an angle but we're going straight, which is rather unfortunate. So we're above 10,000 feet. Well, we're going to go ahead and click our landing lights off. I'm going to go ahead and activate that autopilot. Hands off the controls. So we have flight level change enabled, so it's going to maintain 165 knots. Navigation is active, so we're going to be following our waypoints all the way to Gatlinburg. Fuel economy, we're doing good. We're at 93% N1, but our thrust percentage is 62. And we are making progress. So we're not even in, well, we're just really entering DTW airspace, which is going to be down to our left over here. Or, I'm sorry, to our right. It's going to be over to our right on this way, but we won't be able to see it because of the clouds. So, with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here. I'm just going to monitor it as I cruise down there, and I will put you guys on the approach to Gatlinburg. So stick around. It's going to become a very pretty view. Flying in the mountains in a Vision Jet. See y'all in a few. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So, we are concluding our flight here to Gatlinburg. Began our descent not too long ago. We are descending out of 15,000. We're going to descend to 5,000 to start, and then we will navigate our way. We're about 20 miles away from the airport. Since there is no instrumented approach, I will have to fly it manually, which is completely fine by me, because you can't let the aircraft have all the fun. So we're descending at about 3,000 feet per minute, which is a little quick, but we did begin descending at roughly 50 miles away from the airport, but this aircraft can in fact handle this. Like, it's still pulling some pretty decent N1 percentage of thrust. So I'm just kind of monitoring. I disengaged the FMS speed mode and put it to manual just to slow the aircraft down a little bit more, just to kind of make for a little bit more room to get to the correct altitude that I am looking for. So it's looking for runway 28, I believe, is the last time I checked. Yep, we still want runway 28, so we have the weather right here. 10 miles visibility over the airfield. It is clear, even though we do have clouds in the vicinity. The temperature 32, the dew point is 25, and the altimeter is 3003, which we already have plugged in right there. So crossing 10,000 feet, let's go ahead and put our landing lights on, and we will navigate to Gatlinburg. So this area is a nice, it's a really pretty area. You got all the mountains surrounding you, and Pigeon Forge is a great tourist destination in Tennessee. Dollywood over there, you have all of the restaurants and like cool family attractions and stuff that is going on over there. And then Gatlinburg in particular used to have a huge automotive gathering of like highly customized cars that are slammed to the ground and scrape on pebbles, which is kind of funny. But this is a smaller private airport. It's a nice alternative instead of landing over at Tyson McGee Airport, which is the main airport serving Knoxville, Tennessee. So we're about 10 miles out. We'll have the runway field in sight. It's directly ahead of us. If I remember, it's right here. This little line right there. And the way I had to fly it in Phenom was I had to go way around, get terrain, call outs yelling at me, and then come in and land. This aircraft, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But there's 1,000 to go. 5,000, so we're actually going to go to 3,000 here. The airport landing elevation is 990 feet, so we're going to do 3,000. That'll give us enough headroom to kind of line ourselves up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it carry us. We're going to fly over the airfield, and then we will get lined up for landing. So we're going to slow to 180 knots, which is what the aircraft is currently doing. With the auto throttle on. There's 1,000 to go again. Slow down the descent just a little bit, just to make it a little easier on the plane. About 1,500 feet. Starting to get a little bit of thrust. So I can see the field in sight again. It's right here. So we were at 2,200 feet above the ground. Now this is going to fluctuate quite a bit because we are in a mountainous terrain. Well, let's go ahead and use our speeds to 160. And then crossing the runway, we're going to go with the third person here. Crossing the runway, I will disengage all of the A's, autopilot, and everything, and do a man over the aircraft. But look at how pretty that terrain is out there. Like I said, last time I came in, I had the flight very close to this valley right here when I came in. And our runway is right here. It's a little hard to see coming in just because of how skinny it is. But there are pappies there, so once we have the pappies in sight and everything, it becomes a cakewalk from the land. Alright, so we are crossing the runway threshold, so let's go ahead. We are going to disengage our auto throttle, which will give me control of the throttles again. And autopilot is off. I have control of the aircraft, so let's begin getting set up for the approach here. So we're going to go full idle. And we're going to begin our left-hand turn set up for base. Now it's going to yell at us for the altitude because I did not set it yet, so we're going to set it for 900.
Sink rate.
And just like the last time, we did get a terrain.
Pull up.
Terrain warning just because we are flying low to the ground because of the mountainous terrain that's in this area. About 1,000 feet off the ground. Go ahead and adding a notch of flaps. Let's get some speed back. Let's go ahead and get our gear down. Runway is in sight, it's right here. At least I think it is. Yep, that's it. So there's our 1,000-foot warning for that. Full flaps. So we're going to maintain between 90 to 95 knots on the final approach. We might go a little faster. But here we go.
500.
500 feet warning. We're going to continue. Pappy say we're a little high, which you can see the two squares where we want to aim. So it's okay if we come in just a little low. It's okay, according to the pappies, because look at all that room we have. Beautiful. Go ahead and apply some brakes. Brakes in this thing are extremely strong. Let's go ahead and taxi over to the next turn off over here. Put our flaps up. Alright, we are now clear to the runway. We'll go ahead and taxi over here. See what the flight director wants. We can actually turn that off. Get rid of that. That was a pretty successful landing. Again, we did have terrain warnings just because of how low we were flying, getting set up for the approach there. But other than that, very smooth flight. Descent was very simple. Everything was hunky-dory. So we're going to come over here to this building over here. We're going to park up. There's a nice little open pad. We'll park up over there and shut her down. Alright, this isn't really an official parking space, but we're going to make it official. So, there we are, full stop, parking brake comes on. And it's just, look at that. Look at those mountains, view of the mountains. Terrain is gorgeous everywhere. So, that'll do it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you would like to see next. If there's any flights or anything that you want me to do, I can definitely go ahead and do that. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video goes live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.